There he is.
Let me just shake this up real quick. This is out of control, girl.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's like some very strategically shaped hair that you have.
I don't know if you know, I got an Afro pick too. Just got the, you know how I do. This is how it goes, Shan. I got to get it up like this. It just gets bigger. And then you got to shape
And you
it.
got to mold it.
You got to mold it. Got to mold it. Oh!
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. Was it the plan to do that? Or did you guys just start cutting and then go,
Here's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm just like, if it's the COVID or I'm going through some sort of like midlife crisis, but I don't know if you know, I used to have an afro like this big.
I've seen pictures.
Right. And I used to look good.
You always look good.
Well, I chopped it off and I've been wanting to get it back. So this was the compromise between big afro and the wife's decision.
I love that you've been doing the Mental Health Mondays thing.
Yeah.
And what's it been like for you? Because I mean, I know that's something you've always talked about, and releasing the song Numb on Bellett's Talk Day.
Yeah.
What made you go, hey, I feel like this is a topic, because it is a topic that needs to be discussed right now.
Yeah. And especially right now, I think for me, I kind of did it. I started something I wanted to start. I wanted to do it more selfishly for my own reasons. And, I'm doing the ups and the downs. And as you know, like we were on tour while this whole thing was starting, right? So to go from like being on this cloud nine, feeling like $1 million to all of a sudden, like nothing. Right. Everything counts. It's been a roller coaster for me. So I got home and I wasn't the easiest to deal with. My mood swings were up and down. Like I wasn't able to communicate with Chanel and properly. And I felt like I was lashing out. I wasn't me. And I knew what it was because of this whole thing, the weight of it, and how am I going to pay my rent for the next year? Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And so for me, selfishly, I started it because I needed a place to kind of go and please somebody tell me that I'm not going through this by myself. And it's funny because Chanel said to me, she watches them in the other room. She watches them every Monday as well, right? And she said, I wish that you would have recorded all of them so you can watch them all back and see how much you've progressed. So the first one, I ended up like I was in a rut. It was hard for me. I was down. I was feeling real sad. I was feeling real depressed. And she said, from the time then to the time now you're doing them, it's not about being sad anymore. It's about positivity. Excuse me. Yeah. It's about positivity. It's about how we can get through this together. It's about all of these good things and all the negative things that people are feeling. You switch them, and all the things that you were feeling, it feels like it's been a complete 180 for you. So for me, I started it because I thought it would be a good idea for me to just have a place I can spew my trash on everybody, and hopefully somebody feels a little bit the same, right?
Yeah. And if you can connect one person by it, it's helpful. It's like, obviously it's a help to yourself, but if one person gets on there and they've been struggling and they're like, oh man, he's feeling the same things I'm feeling. You have no idea how much that can help somebody.
Huge. And Shannon, I'll tell you, the outreach, we got a nice little community. We built a nice little community. There's like 30 or 40 of us that just kind of every Monday they jump on this. I'm hoping to, obviously it grows, but if it doesn't, this little community of us that comes on this show is just so sweet. They participate. I've gotten lots of messages being like, thank you so much, whether you know it or not. These Mondays are really helping, and I feel just so lucky that I'm in a position. I've always said too, when I get in a position, or if I ever have a position of some sort of platform to use, I'm going to use it for stuff like this anyways, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel really good about it, and what I need to do is practice what I preach a little bit more, but we got our ups and downs.
It's my I went to a therapist a long time ago for the first time, and my therapist, because I am somebody that all my friends come to when they need advice or if they need someone to talk to. And my therapist said, well, what do you tell your friends? And I go through this list, and she goes, why don't you start telling yourself the advice you give to other people? And I'm like, it's a really good idea. Like, I should do that.
Yeah, absolutely. See, one of the things that I'm really bad at is beating myself up for a number of different things, not being productive or not feeling like I'm adequate in this music game, or, you know, beating myself up, and I've been like this for a long time. Like when I have a cheat day, or I say a cheat day, but it ends up being a cheat week, and you know, you do the ups and downs. And one of the things, when I was going to touch on what you said about the therapist, when I was going to my lady, my lady Jill was her name. She's super, super sweet. But when I was going to see her, one of the first things she said to me after our like second meeting, she says, listen, if you're going to beat yourself up, I don't know why you do it, because you have this going for you. You got this going for you. You got this going for you. You got this going for you. Like you got all these really cool things. You're not taking the time to appreciate it. So if you're going to beat yourself up about it, get a smaller stick.
It's a good, yep.
And for some people that may not mean anything, but for me, I really grabbed onto it, and I was like, huh.
Yeah, okay. I know. It's funny when it's something, you know what I mean? It's in your heart, totally. You know it, but to hear somebody, you know, that's really knowledgeable on the subject kind of like snap your eyes open, you go, oh yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And it's funny. It's something that, I mean, if anyone struggles with it, it's a lifelong journey and progress trail, because it's not something that you can just snap your fingers and figure out overnight.
No, it's not.
But as long as you're aware of it, it's crazy how much more helpful that is. Because I mean, I have really, like 2 days ago, not good over here for Shannon.
I saw the post. Love. Yeah. Continue.
No, but I mean, it was just, I couldn't get out of it. And obviously having a person in your life that pulls you out is awesome. But at the end of the day, I kind of just went, man, I know that I've got to get my head out of this. I know that I'm not, you know, I'm not doing terrible. I'm still doing okay. I'm healthy. Totally. I'm working hard. I'm like, I'm doing as best as I can, but yet why am I beating myself up? And Steven always tells me, he's like, I just wait until, you know, you calm down a bit. And then I just go, hey, you left. Do you mind coming back? So we can get back to this, because you left the building and I just want to bring you right back. I'm like, yeah, I kind of did. I'm gone. I'm back.
It's so funny. So how did you end up, how do you get back when you feel yourself just gone? Shan's gone. Who is this person? And you come back. How do you get out of that? What do you do?
I need to take, whether it's, you know, 25 minutes or an hour, and I need to get outside. Cause I mean, I grew up on a horse farm, so I'm used to, like, my therapy used to be in the barn with the horses with nobody talking. So I'll either go for a bike ride or go for a walk or sit out on the back porch or whatever, and just like shut my brain off for a minute.
Totally.
And then I come back in and I'm like, whew. Okay, so sorry everybody.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Sometimes it takes me days. Like, you know, it's not always the same, but
it's that vicious cycle. Once you feel bad, then you feel bad for feeling bad, and then to pull yourself out of it.
Or you're sad at yourself, or you're, I don't know. Like sometimes I cry, sometimes I'm like, gosh, I'm so annoyed at me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with me sometimes.
Totally. And if you can hardly deal with you, imagine the people in your little circle that is having that's why I'm like, oh.
Even as a saint.
Is he okay with you? Does he deal with you really well?
He's the most patient man I've ever met in my life, because he just knows I'm going through it. He'll like give me a hug. He'll give me my space. He's like, you're gonna get through it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Are you sure?
You don't know.
You don't know me. You don't even know it. I know it. Thursday
night. It's tough, but you know what? It's nice. You know, I think the country community is so cool, because I feel like I have this crazy extended family that, you know, the music industry can be a little bit grueling sometimes. So a lot of people that understand what you're going through.
Sorry, girl. I looked at it real close for a second. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, did I see you in the studio working on new music?
You did. You sure did. And the way my producer Scotty Chops, the way he's got it all set out is like you go into his house, into his spare room, and like he's got blankets all around. It's not like the normal we go into the booth and that's how we get down, but he's got it all set up so it's quarantine safe.
Nice.
And we was jamming. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I am so excited. When I get the okay from Big Chops, I'll send it over to you and see what you think. But
I'm so
excited.
Me
I'm excited.
Too.
It's nice. It's that for the first time. So we was in the booth on Friday. We was in the studio on Friday, and for the first time since this whole COVID things happened, it was the first like normal for me. You know, like I got to go into the studio. I got to not everything is just stop. Right. Not everything. Okay, so we can still do music, and I feel so lucky that I'm in a position that, you know, I got a team that we can get into the studio, and they're just as excited about the music as I am. And I had a day the other day where I was really reflecting on the position that I'm in. Yes, the money has stopped, the well is running dry, but I'm in a position where I get to do the one thing that I absolutely love to do is sing.
Right.
And put out music and share who I am with everybody. And because we have this platform, it's the best. I'm feeling real grateful. And that's one of the things that I'm starting to work on is like, yes, okay, all these negative things, when you're down on yourself, be down on yourself. But what about all these good things?
Right. Yeah. You got to keep track of those whenever everything feels heavy and stuff. It's like you don't lose all the stuff that's great in your life just because you're having a bad day.
Exactly. So once I start remembering that, it's the best. But to being back in the studio, Shan, we got that new. It's coming. And it's coming.
Okay, I have to ask because a lot of your songs, like majority of them on the last project, Mitchell Tenpenny just happened to be a writer on a lot of those.
Yeah, my guy.
I know we all love Mitchell so much. Oh, she's hanging out here. But do you have any other songs that are coming out that Mitchell may have written?
I do, yeah.
What makes you gravitate towards those ones? Because I mean, he's an amazing writer, but
I think for the style, you know, and I've hung out with Mitchell a bunch, and like I've gotten perfect.
Just make sure we're both.
Yeah, we gotta have her in there. But Mitchell's style is so similar to what I've been chasing. Mm-hmm. And so when the first song I ever heard that was written by him was Future, that we ended up getting to release. We were on tour. I was with Megan, and she showed me the song and was like, "You got to check this out. This my man kind of thing. Like, you got to check this song out." And so that when we finished the tour, I was like, I reached out. I was like, "Hey, can I have this song? I love it. I need to make it mine." And they were so cool. I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Go ahead." And since then, that once we got more, I'm just like, gosh, this is exactly what I wanted and my sound to sound like.
Yeah.
So I look for him and I reach out to him and I say, "Mitch, what you got? Let's go. We're working on some new." And so yes, we have some new Mitchell songs. Some new Mitchell songs coming, and they coming in hot, girl. I tell you.
I love that, and I think it's so cool. You know, there's artists that you can really draw from and relate to in the industry, and to have someone like that you're like, hey, I love what you're doing. You know, I'm doing my own thing over here, but you know, I can find kind of my story and stuff that you're writing and be able to sing about it. And I think that is such a cool thing to have. Not everybody has that with writer.
A lot of artists, and I know a lot of artists that they need to write their own stuff. But that's because they're great at writing. For me, I know what I am, and I'm not the greatest writer, but I know what I want to say. I know the kind of person I am. I know the messages I want to portray. Right. So when I hear a song, say, written by Mitchell, which is essentially saying all the things that I want to say, but better than I'm able to do on paper, you know, and it's a muscle, right? You practice. So I'm getting okay at it, but I know that I haven't been writing for 15 years. So I know what I am, right? And I'm very okay with what I am.
It's one of those things you gotta do it to get better at it. And
exactly.
It's not something that happens overnight. And But having someone like him around and building that relationship, and then being able to, hey, one day actually write a song with him for yourself would be kind of cool.
And he's even said to me, he said, man, we got to get you down in Nashville. We got to get in a room so we can both write the songs together.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
that's a great idea.
That's a good idea. Huh. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. As soon as those borders open, Jojo's coming in hot.
You know I am too, girl. You know I'll be down there. But it's good. I love having somebody like him who's not just established, but he's also like the kindest human I've ever met. Funny as hell. Takes care of my BFF Meg Patrick. And so I'm, as long as all those things is coming into place, and he's still crushing, on the charts and still putting out banger after banger, my guy. That's my guy. I love that. I love having guys like that in my world, and guys like that you can look up to, right?
Sure. And that are in your corner too. Like he's just as supportive as anybody else is when you release one of those songs, which I think is so cool to see that.
Really nice, unexpected, and not. I don't expect it, but it happens, and it's just like, man, it's cool to see somebody with your level of talent and success that's still, humble as hell and still, down to support everybody. He is, the guy's a lover. He loves everybody, and that's cool as hell. And I'm glad, like I said, he's taking care of my girl. And Peasy.
Well, I will say, obviously I miss seeing humans in real life. And I miss giving hugs, but I miss Jojo Mason hugs more than
so sad. It's so sad. Like I go over to my parents' house and I'm like, hey, what's up, mom and dad?
I know.
Elbow bump.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're never going to forget having gone through, and hopefully when we're through it, we're going to not take a lot of stuff for granted anymore, because it's sad that some people have to learn that through something like this, but I know I'm going to definitely prioritize and appreciate those kind of things and moments a lot more.
One of the things that I've really like you said, to taking for granted, it's not that you take everything for granted, it's not like you don't appreciate the people, but one thing that is a positive that I will take away from this is, like, it takes a 4-second, a 30-second phone call. It takes a 5-second text just to say to people you haven't talked to in a while, people you haven't reached out to in a while, now you ain't got no excuse. You're not busy. I know you got time. And I've been hearing from people that I haven't talked to in a while, some of my best friends that I haven't talked to in a while. I've been getting messages from them and calls from them, and I've been reaching out as well, and so that's one positive thing I will take away with this. As much as this sucks and it's the worst, and there's so much negative in the world about it, it's been nice to be able to connect with people a lot more than we would have in the past, because of life and being busy.
Normally, if I wasn't able to do an interview with you in real life, we would do it over the phone.
Totally.
And I kind of like this way better. I'm never doing phone interviews ever again.
I will never let you do a phone interview with me ever again.
Nope. I want to see your face. If I'm going to talk,
I see your face.
I want to see your face.
I like it. I want to see your face, girl.
I cannot wait to hear that new, and I can't wait to see you in real life and give you a hug. But until then, we're just going to have to keep in touch as much as possible. And I mean, hey, if you're ever having one of those days, reach out anytime.
You too.
Okay.
And you're going to be on my Mental Health Mondays.
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm a blast it. Friday's the day. I'm going to be doing all the posting, and I can't wait. I'm going to come in hot. I'm going to have some questions for you. And I don't know if you saw last week, but we set some goals with Jess Moskaluk.
I did. Love that. I literally message you and be like, hey, can we do that? Because I could use some goals.
We're going to set some goals. We're going to set some goals, and I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to holler at you on the Wednesday, and then the Friday, and then the Saturday. Make sure you crushing.
I need someone like that, so I'm ready for it.
I'm with you. All right, girl. Well, you be good. I miss you.
I'm sending you a big virtual hug.
Big hug, girl.
Yes.
And give Steven some love for me, all right?
I will, for sure. I'm sure he'll pop in on Monday and say hello and be like, thank you for doing this with her.